The Union of Minority Neighborhoods will hold an event in Roxbury calling on the community to protect its children. This will take place Sunday, March 19th, starting 4 p.m. at 12th Baptist Church on Warren Street. To tell us about the event is the group's community organizer, David Corbie. Thank you very much for being with us, David.
Thank you for having me.
David, this is a community that I'm sure has a lot of concern for its children, wanting to protect them, but talk about the timing of this event and what are you really focusing on here?
Well, we're really just focusing on something that I feel like we've never done before. I mean, the children are really the most marginalized population. I mean, they take the effects of whether a parent loses a job or anything. It's just kind of, it always affects the child, or even with school cuts, like cuts to public education. So, I mean, this event is really more so to celebrate the children, everything and all of their accomplishments, and really kind of what they will do, because we have to hand the mantle off to them in the future, and they have to carry on the legacy.
Now, this is taking place at 12th Baptist Church, so I'm immediately thinking of, mothers and fathers, coming in and praying, but what about bringing the children too?
Oh yes, no, this is like centered around the children. We're going to have performances, we're going to have different politicians speak, different community figures speak. We're going to offer, provide social services to the children through people who are sponsoring this event. And I mean, essentially it's just kind of going to be centered around the children. I mean, it's all for the children.
Of course, the timing here, this is also with a new administration in Washington, and for some people it's about a combative tone, but I guess it's also about what's going to be happening with the budget and ways that affect the children.
Yes. That's something that we definitely have to really be mindful of, because we're not really expecting much money from federal aid in terms of social services like food stamps and other things like that. So I mean, I think this event is really more so a call to the community to kind of support each other in a way that we've never done before, and to be self-reliant and not have to rely on federal aid, or just kind of like protect each other civically and politically, and just communally.
I think another thing too is that there are parents who are bringing up children, and at one phase or another, things become difficult for the parents. They want to protect their children, they want to engage with them, and that can be difficult. And I guess coming to an event like this, you can maybe get some help from other parents who've been through that.
Yes, we're definitely, and also trying to use this as a way to network and allow parents to kind of be able to have these conversations, and to also have the parents pledge to protect their children and to offer them or provide them, I guess, kind of like opportunities for the summer, because we know that once the summer hits, that's when the violence rises, and we want to curb that so that violence is much lower than it's ever been in Boston.
This is BNN News, and we're talking with David Corbie from the Union of Minority Neighborhoods. David, I know this event is happening on the 19th, as we mentioned, but just before this, you have another event, and this is for leaders of the diaspora. Talk about what that's going to be like.
Yes, it's called the Leaders of Diaspora. It's basically gathering different ethnic groups within the African diaspora to come together and have the leaders come and talk about how we're going to mobilize and organize as a community within the next 4 years, and how do we protect each other, and like what do we want to see in terms of, I guess, like how our community looks in the future. And it's going to be at Northeastern Law School and room 204, and basically we're just going to have just an informal conversation with different leaders of the African diaspora.
Well, this is about the community in the age of Trump, so I guess that this is about particular challenges brought about by the change in Washington. So what kind of things are we thinking about here?
In terms of the change?
Well, the changes in Washington, and how that maybe means that the community has to use a different strategy, maybe.
Well, I mean, definitely going to see a lot less money from, just Washington. I think we're definitely going to see a lot of racism and a lot of xenophobia, and these are things that we have to remain vigilant on. Especially within the African diaspora, there's a lot of immigrants from various countries, and it's like we know that they're going to be the ones who are most impacted by this the travel ban or immigration ban, and it's just like we need to protect one another, because again, we are all one community, and if we allow our neighbors to, I guess, get pushed out of their homes and moved or kicked out of the country, then it's like, when is the end?
Talk about the role of the Union of Minority Neighborhoods, because you're talking about a community that has a lot of organizations, and typically I think I see them in silos. They're education groups, they're housing groups, land use groups, violence prevention groups, and health advocates. And it seems that the union helps people get out of the silos a bit and see a different picture, don't you?
Yes, yes. I mean, that's definitely something that we do. I mean, I always, well, me and Horace always kind of look at community.
This is Horace Small.
Yes, Horace Small, the executive
right.
director.
Right.
We kind of look at community organizing as just kind of being a jack of all trades. Like, we're not, I guess, experts in any one area, but we are knowledgeable about various areas. And I mean, that really helps us kind of, I guess, bridge the gaps between these different silos. And I mean, really, we're about connecting community. So, I mean, we don't have expertise in, let's say, like we had an event with quarry reform. We're not experts in sealing your quarries, but we are able to get you in contact and put you in a room with people who know the process and know how to help you seal the quarry. So, I mean, I think that's really just, we're the bridge to the community, to the resources that is needed.
And we should mention, if people want to know more about these events coming up or anything else going on, you've got something online that they can go to?
Yes, yes. We have all our events online at our website, unionofminorityNeighborhoods.org. We also have a Facebook, a LinkedIn, and a Twitter. And feel free to connect or follow us in any capacity that you see fit.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
From the Union of Minority Neighborhoods, David Corbie. We'll have more news in just a moment.